Yeah, just I thought our pitchers did a nice job. You know, we walked one all game, and you know, Tate, he came out in the first inning, looked pretty sharp, give up the first pitch home run. I think kind of shocked him. Start the second inning, we were already up 3-0, and he had to fight a little bit to get through the inning, and then you know, the third inning didn't go real good for him, and stuff seemed to kind of fall off, and you know, so we went and got Fisher, and he wasn't super sharp out of the gate, but he kicked it into gear, and then McIntyre was really good tonight, and Eve was really good tonight. Freshman threw the ball good, kept the ball down, and made one mistake and got lined out deep to left, but other than that, he hit his spots pretty good. And it was really good to see someone like, you know, like Reese Robinette get in the game, gets a start, hits 3 doubles, gets a batting average, you know, things like that is good for him. And team was pulling for him big time, so it was cool. And then Kahil Lloyd played in the outfield his first ball game, had a little trouble in the corner with that ball, but hit the ball really well, got 4 hits. Well, he got 3, and then he got an infield hit. We'll call that a hit. I mean, that guy's not going to get too many of those, although he can run a little bit. But, you know, it's just good. It's good to see some guys do some different things, and put Cam at, you know, Kojal at second, and just to, you know, let my freshman second baseman Frazier rest a little bit because his leg was a little tight Sunday. So just trying to let that loosen back up. So he's fine. He'll be ready for Thursday. So, you know, I thought we came out and played pretty good. Traveled back, a couple tough losses. You know, off day. Guys came around and lifted, and then but nothing that they had to be at. And then a few guys came in yesterday, I think probably hit because they hit every day, no matter what. And we came out and, you know, we played decent. And now we can move on to the weekend and, you know, look forward to A&M coming in. I know they're super hot, won 5 out of their last league games, so we'll have our hands full.
Had you seen anything out of Reese recently that maybe indicated that he was going to break out?
He's been swinging the bat better in batting practice, like today. You know, it's some balls like you saw tonight, and then he, you know, we control a lot of their rounds and BP, but when we let it fly, so to speak, he had a couple balls off the scoreboard, and yeah, just a little bit. So just felt like, you know, he's been a really good teammate. He hasn't complained, and it's time to get him in there and let him play a little bit.
And then UAPB's pitchers had retired your hitters 10 in a row before that infield hit by Cahillo. Did it feel like maybe that took a cap off or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, no. I just think that we got a little complacent, and you know, we had a pretty good lead, and maybe the lack of concentration there for a little bit. But you know, give their pitchers credit. They brought guys in that were throwing strikes. We had a couple balls hard, but they were at them, and that's kind of the way it works.
I think you said before Sunday's game that Kendall's been having better BP for you. I mean, how pleased were you to see him get the hit in that pinch hit situation?
Yeah, he got a start the other day at Georgia, and I got a couple of bats, and they brought the lefty in. I, you know, brought a right-handed hitter for him, and that was good to see him get that hit. You know, especially he got down the count 1-2, and I don't know, we ended up 2-2, and then he threw a breaking ball, and he obviously singled to right. And yeah, I think, you know, it's good for him. It's good for his confidence, and then obviously it gave Reese a chance to get up and hit again, and got to go home early.
Some really rushed research on my part, but I think the first 7 hits you guys had were either up the middle or opposite way. Just how good was that to see in the approach tonight, especially
Real
maybe?
Good. You know, especially when you're facing pitching that's a lot slower than you just faced on the weekend. I mean, we were facing mostly mid-90s all weekend from Georgia. You know, I don't know if you guys saw the stat. Coach Hops will probably tell you, but between the two teams over the weekend, the average fastball was 95 plus. You know, and there were some guys we hit. What I didn't hit. We had a pitcher hit 102 twice. They had a pitcher that hit 100 a few times, and a lot of guys throwing in the mid-90s. So then when you face a team where fastball's mid-80s and a little slower here and there, it can throw you off. So, the approach was opposite field in batting practice, and the game plan was just stay through the middle, don't try to do too much because you're going to get out front, and did a pretty good job with it.
I know you indicated on your radio show, I think, that you said Souza might be done for the year. Do you have any update there on his injury?
Well, I would say he's probably done.
And for McIntyre tonight, I mean, I know he can have that knack of really pounding the zone, but sometimes he gets away from it. What do you notice is working for him when he has that really superior control?
Well, he's locating that cutter to the glove side, away from the right-handers and throwing it down. He made one mistake today and fouled it off, and he kind of slapped his glove because he knows that in league play that ball might be hit pretty good, and even here, but the hitter just fouled it off. He got it going pretty good with the cutter, the fastball. He even elevated a couple fastballs on purpose, and when he got ahead in the count, he got a strikeout on one of them. Yeah, it was good to see. We just try to keep him sharp because they're on the roster on the weekend. We're going to need him.
How long ago were you planning on giving Reese his first start, and how did he find out?
I decided yesterday that I was going to play him, and he probably found out today when he saw the board about 12 o'clock or whenever somebody called him and said, "Hey, you're starting, man." So I imagine that's how it went down.
Did you see any reaction? Did you hear anything from him? Or?
No. And the other big news was Kahio Aloy started in the outfield because, he didn't even know where the outfield was except, when he got here, he was a first baseman, DH, and we didn't really put him out there defensively until January. We just started working him out. Said, the guy's going to hit. He's not going to play first here. We got to get him ready for next year, his junior year here, and he can DH this year. And it's gotten a lot better, and he's worked at it. So yeah, that was, I'm sure that brought a little bit of energy to their locker room when they saw who was in and who was not DHing and playing in the outfield. So that was good.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, with Logan getting the DH, is that still a case of a tight hamstring, or?
It's me just kind of keeping an eye on it and taking care of it, and we talked last week that we were going to probably start Kahio and Wright, for this game, but at the same time, I wanted Logan to hit because Logan, he didn't have his best weekend, we need to get him going, so I wanted him to continue to swing it. And like tonight, he got 2 hits, and then he just missed a home run there at the end, kind of topped it just a touch. If he'd pulled a little bit, obviously, it'd been way out. So it all worked out.
And then some errors from new guys and new positions. Do you sort of excuse those?
Cam didn't get a grip on the double play ball and threw it into the dirt, and it got by. And then, obviously, Kahio kicked that ball down in the corner. I didn't watch it. I knew it was a double. And then next thing I knew, the guy kept running, and I turned around, and I didn't get out there and look at it. I said, what happened? That's, I don't know. Did he kick it, or what happened down there? He what? Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
I guess with McGuire, it seems like it's the second week in a row. It's kind of the same thing. Is it kind of mechanical when his velocity tops off, or is it more mental at this point?
I don't know. He comes out and pounds his zone. Did it in Little Rock, did it here tonight, and then, you got to give the 4-0 hitter credit. He just got out there and said he's going to throw me a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and he cheated and hit it, went out of the park, and then he got it together and got through the inning. The third inning was the inning that wasn't good. It just looked like the velocity dropped off, and command, and they were poking it around a little bit, made a couple mistakes ahead in the count. I don't know. So, he's a good Tuesday pitcher, but, you don't want to just be a Tuesday pitcher. You want to pitch on the weekend. So you got to pitch good on Tuesday so we can pitch you on the weekend.
Remiss if we didn't ask, but just your thoughts on Jackie Robinson and the celebration beforehand. And
I liked it. I thought it was awesome, actually. And, it was, if you know the whole story, he went through a lot to get the opportunity to play in the big leagues. And, he opened the door for a lot of people, and I thought it was cool. I didn't even really know about it until last couple of days ago, and I was told. so I didn't know what was going to go down. Pretty neat.
Anything in particular you're noticing about Brent Iredale at the moment with his recent struggles?
Yeah, he's just struggled. He's late on the fastball. He's very picky at the plate, and we love that. But when he does get the fastball, even like tonight, he fouled off 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, he's working hard. He's frustrated. We need him to get it going again, because we know it's in there. So hopefully we'll start Thursday.
Is it easier at all to get a guy out of a slump like that when it's in the middle of the season? He's already had a lot of success early on.
Well, I think, just a couple of, good swings where he hits the ball hard and hopefully get some hits, because sometimes you just need to get a hit. It can just free you up mentally a little bit. The time of the year that it happens, it's like anything. He hasn't really failed before until now. Think about it. He went to junior college for 2 years and killed it. Comes in here and has a really good fall. January, February, and March. In February he carried us. He was driving in runs when guys weren't hitting, and there was really nowhere for him to go but down. And we've talked to him. He's going to be fine. He'll come out of it. But for now, he's just got to weather the storm. He's a really good defender, and he's a threat at the plate. He's still getting on base with some walks. His day's coming. He'll come back around.
Texas A&M this weekend, you mentioned how they're playing a lot better right now. Is there any part of you that's like, well, I guess maybe it's a good thing they're playing better, and that it's they're not going to be, I don't know, as desperate maybe as they were a couple weeks ago?
Well, to me, it wouldn't have mattered if they were playing great or struggling. I know how talented they are. They have most of their players from last year back, their pitching staff back. They did lose their third baseman to an injury early in the season. Brought in a couple of good players from other schools. I read a comment right before the season started, because they were number 1 in every poll, that they had the most talented roster in Division I baseball. So they're good, and we're not looking. It didn't matter if they were struggling coming in here. We weren't going to look past them. I'll guarantee you that. They're going to be a big-time challenge. They're really good.
Have you noticed anything different about them? Obviously, I know you're from afar, but
Hitting.
No, but I mean in a new season with a new head coach. I'm sorry.
No, I don't have. That's not for me to comment on. I just got to take care of my team. But they're starting to swing the bat. They're scoring runs. He scored 5 or 6 or 8 in the last inning to win on Sunday or Saturday or whatever it was for them.
Prager had a heck of a game against you guys last year. Do you expect that type of pitcher again?
Well, he's very, very confident. He really locates stuff. It's not like overpowering. He just knows how to pitch. It hasn't been quite the same as last year for him, but I know that we're in for a challenge, and we've got to definitely be ready for him and have a great approach against him.
You indicated on the radio the other day that you might take Gabe out of the rotation this weekend. Have you made a decision on that yet?
Well, is this my talk? So I'm done. I don't have to talk to you guys tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, you'll probably see Gage not in the rotation to start.
Okay. Do you get Gage Wood back this weekend?
There could be that possibility. We'll know tomorrow for sure.
And maybe you don't want to say, but how do you handle it being a short week with your pitchers? Do you take an opportunity maybe to throw somebody new on Thursday night and give Zach a normal rest? Or?
Oh no, he'll be good on 6 days.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess we'll have to. Do we have to put that out tomorrow? Since he'll go first, and then we'll let you know how it goes from there.
I guess it's Coach Early's first year. Do you remember what it was like your first year in the SEC? All those years ago?
Yeah, we had turf. We had turf, and we didn't have. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I do remember it, but I can't remember the first SEC game or going through the league. I know that we weren't picked to do very well, and we did pretty good. Clay Goodwin was playing third base, first base, and Hoss Pratt was playing first mostly, and I could go on and on. I could still name the guys, but. I've been in a lot of games. I can't remember all those games, man. I only remember the good ones, or maybe some of the bad ones.
It sounds like you guys got a good report on Parker Coyle, that maybe he can come back sooner than you first anticipated.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what all I can comment on that. I think you could probably talk to Corey about that. But it's when they did the MRI, it looked like it's it wasn't as bad as they thought. So it's definitely cut the healing down. Maybe 3 weeks. So that's a good thing.
And then with Gackle, I mean, he was so good for you as a reliever last year. Is there any thought that maybe he just pitches better out of the bullpen?
There's been a lot of thought about that. I mean, he gets all these preseason accolades, and they're not for. It's for they're calling them preseason this and that, but it was all about his relief pitching. So let's see how it goes from here.
Yeah, and just to clarify on Souza, I mean, what part of the body sustained the injury
Who?
for Souza? Just to clarify.
Oh yeah, he's got a. I guess it'd be this arm. It's pretty well torn. There's one a year. We get one a year. Every year. It's kind of sad because it should never happen because he shouldn't have run. That's what hurts. If it just happens, it happens. But the way it all went down, it was over like that. You couldn't stop it. Okay.